All right, so today we're going to pull back the curtain on a really clever piece of technology that solves one of the biggest headaches in data management. I'm talking about SQL database snapshots. So let's just dive right in.
First, let's set the stage by talking about a situation that, let's be honest, pretty much anyone who's ever worked with live data has run into. It's this constant and frankly super frustrating problem. Okay, so picture this. You've got to run a big, important report. The problem is, your database is live. It is the beating heart of your entire application. Data is flying in, it's being changed, it's being deleted like every single second. So how on earth are you supposed to get a stable, accurate picture of anything in that chaos?
I mean, it's a huge issue, right? If your report takes, say, 10 minutes to run, the data it saw at the very beginning might be totally different or might not even exist by the time it finishes. What you end up with is a mess. Your reports are inconsistent, unreliable, and sometimes they're just flat out wrong. It's like you're trying to hit a target that just will not stay still.
So how do we solve this? What's the answer to all this chaos? Well, it's actually an incredibly elegant idea. Instead of trying to count all those moving cars, what if you could just take a perfect, instantaneous photograph of the entire highway at once?
And that photograph, that is exactly what a database snapshot is. So let's really unpack what that definition means. Read-only, that's simple, you can't change it. Static, it's frozen, it doesn't change on its own. And transactionally consistent. Now this is the really important part. It means the snapshot represents one single perfect moment in time, as if the whole world just paused for a split second just for you. Honestly, this is the perfect way to think about it. The second you create that snapshot, you have this perfect frozen view of your data. The live database can keep doing its thing, that chaotic dance of updates, inserts, and deletes, but your photo, your snapshot, stays completely stable and untouched.
Okay, so right about now, your brain is probably screaming, wait a minute, does this mean it copies my entire terabyte-sized database every single time? Because my disk drives are about to have a full-blown panic attack. And that is an excellent question. Well, you can breathe easy because the answer is a big no. And how it pulls this off, it's just brilliant. So the magic trick here, the thing that makes it all possible, is the mechanism called copy on write. And this isn't just some database thing. It's a really foundational concept in computer science. It's what helps power everything from virtual machines to file systems. It's all about being smart and only saving what you absolutely have to.
All right, let's break down how this actually happens, step by step. So step one, when you first create the snapshot, it's basically empty. It doesn't copy anything. All it has are pointers that just point to the original blocks of data. Now, step two, let's say a user goes to change something in the live database. This brings us to step three, and this is the key part. Before the system lets that change happen, it quickly makes a copy of the original data page, the one that's about to be overwritten, and tucks it away in a special file. Then, in step four, the live database gets updated with the new info, but your snapshot, it just keeps reading the original, unchanged data from that special file it just saved. It only copies what's needed right when it's needed. It's efficiency at its absolute finest. Okay, so we've got the what and the how down. Now for the really important part, the why. Like, where do we actually use this thing in the real world? Well, there are three massive use cases. First up, consistent reporting. This is the big one, right? It totally solves that counting moving cars problem we talked about. You can run huge, long analytical queries against the snapshot, and you never have to worry about the live data shifting under your feet. Second, development and testing. This is awesome for developers. They get a safe, realistic, static copy of production data to test their new code against with zero risk of breaking the live system. And number three, and this one can be an absolute lifesaver, recovering from user error. Someone accidentally updates a million rows they shouldn't have. Instead of a massive, painful database restore, you can sometimes use the snapshot to quickly undo that specific mistake. But, and this is a really big but, like with any cool piece of tech, it's not some magic wand you can wave at every problem. Snapshots are incredibly powerful, but you absolutely have to understand what they're for and what they are not for. Here's the most important thing to get into your head. A snapshot is not a backup. Let me say that again because it's that important. It is not a backup. A snapshot is all about giving you data stability for things like reporting. A backup is for disaster recovery. Think about it. If the physical hard drive that holds your database dies, your snapshot dies right along with it, because it completely depends on that original data. It is a specific tool for specific jobs, not a replacement for a real backup strategy. And hey, remember that clever copy on write thing we talked about? Well, while it's super efficient, it's not free. Every single time a piece of data changes in your live database, the original version has to get copied over to the snapshots file. So the busier your main database is, the more changes that happen, the bigger and bigger that snapshot file is going to get, and the more disk space it's going to eat up. It's just a trade-off you need to be aware of. So when you boil it all down, what's the one thing you should remember from all this? It's that a database snapshot is your stable, unchanging window into a dynamic, constantly moving world of live data. It really is that perfect photograph.
And that really brings us to a final interesting question to chew on. We've made it crystal clear that a snapshot isn't a backup. A snapshot helps with data availability, making data available for reporting or testing. A backup is for data protection. So the question for you is, in your own systems, are you thinking about both of those things? What's the real difference between protecting your data from a total disaster versus just making it available for your day-to-day operations? It's definitely something worth thinking about. Thanks for tuning in.